We are live from our headquarters, dear viewers, at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri. We'll begin with your major headlines first before your news in brief. Eritrea participates at International Conference on Water for Sustainable Development on your primary domestic. Call for integrated effort to control prevalence of tree lactus. And more on your domestic with your international. U.S.-Canada strikes deal on curbing illegal migration. And tornadoes kill 23 and brings devastations to the Mississippi state of the United States. Welcome to your domestic in brief. Eritrea has participated at the International Conference on the midterm review of the implementation of the objectives of Decade of Action on Water for Sustainable Development conveyed in New York from 22 to 24th of this March. Addressing the conference, Mr. Mabrahtu Yasu, Director General of Water Resources at the Ministry of Land, Water and Environment, said that recognizing the water resources are essential for domestic use, agricultural and industrial purposes, and the issue of water for sustainable development, Eritrea has been working hard for the last 3 decades in mitigating the effects of droughts, climate change and environmental degradation by surface and groundwater development, indicating that water for sustainable development can be achieved by developing a national water roadmap and through collective action of all partners. Mr. Mabrahtu noted that Eritrea is committed to the development of the ultimate objective of water for sustainable development, acknowledging that water, sanitation, health, ecosystem, food system, and nutrition are interlinked, and that raising trends of losses caused by water-related diseases must be addressed. Mr. Mabrahtu went on to say that Eritrea's water roadmap and action plan presents concrete measures and steps that need to be taken in the implementation of the water projects and programs, including integrated water resources management, water strategic plan, capacity building, technology transfer, as well as partnership and national, regional, and international agencies involved in water for sustainable development. In his concluding remarks, Mr. Mabrahtu reported that Eritrea will continue to undertake measures in mitigating the effects of water-related disasters, climate change, combating desertification, environmental restoration, and sustainable use of natural resources. On your preceding domestic, the Ministry of Agriculture called on concerned bodies to actively conduct surveillance with a view to control the prevalence of the tree lactus that is seedling increasing, indicating that tree lactus is being spotted every year, especially in the Gashbarka region. The ministry said that it is being detected in the Ansaba, Northern Red Sea, and Southern Red Sea regions as well. Mr. Tedros Siyum, head of the migrating pests at the Ministry of Agriculture, said that tree lactuses could infect heavy damage not only on trees but also on vegetables and other crops, called for strong surveillance on the part of the agricultural experts, administrations, as well as members of the Defense Force. Cultural and Sports Week have been conducted in the subzone of Tzorona, Adgheh, Foro, and Mansoura on your final domestic. The Cultural and Sports Week in Tzorona subzone concluded music, drama, debating, general knowledge and short stories, photography and innovation competition, among others. Mr. Sultana Shishai, head of the Cultural and Sports in the subzone, said that the objective of the Culture and Sports Week was to enable students identify their talents as well as to transfer the notable societal values, including self-confidence. According to reports, the Cultural and Sports Week in Adgheh, in which students from 18 schools took part was successfully carried out. The Cultural and Sports Week in Foro Subzone as well, in which students from 22 schools took part, was highlighted by football, volleyball, as well as athletics competitions. Similarly, the Cultural and Sports Week in Mansoura subzone was highlighted by football, athletics, jumping, and discs and other competitions. On your global report after this short break, do stay tuned for more. Welcome back. President Joe Biden laid out a vision of world's leading U.S.-Canadian economic cooperation in a speech to Canada's preliminary Friday, and announced that the giant neighbors had reached a deal on curbing illegal migration. Standing ovations by Canadian lawmakers punctuated Biden's roughly half-an-hour speech in Ottawa that was thick on prizes for Northern American unity, a sentiment matched earlier with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered his own address. Biden, however, said getting cheers when he vowed Canada will, and said that Americans and Canadians are two people, two countries in May view sharing one heart. Biden singled a resolution to one irritant in the close relationship with a deal on managing the growing issue of undocumented migration on their lengthy border. The deal will have devastating impacts on refugees, Clement, who are already at extreme risk, in quotation, Amnesty International's Julia Sandoff told as a report to AFP. Unquote, it will push people to more dangerous crossings in either remote areas or relying on smugglers. Biden, on another report, laid out a vision of the neighbors being ever more closely bound with the joint goal of building a high-tech economies and reinforcing supply chains for things like semiconductors and critical minerals used in electric vehicle manufacturing, saying that, in quote, we are going to write the future together. Trudeau, on the other hand, earlier greeted Biden at the Parliament building, saying that Canada has no greater friend and ally than the United States, a message underlined through the gift to Biden of a chocolate bar from Peace, and by chocolate, a brand started by Syrian refugees. On your final global report, more people are thought to be trapped under the rubble of destroyed buildings. The twisters caused devastations in the city of Mississippi and several rural towns where trees and power lines were torn down and tens of thousands of powers outstaged were reported. Several other southern states are also braced for powerful storms. The seas of golf balls and heavy rainfall were reported also in several areas of the state. Residents of Rolling Fork, a small town in western Mississippi, however, said that a tornado blew the windows out of the back of their homes. The damage in the area is reported to be particularly bad. Local residents, however, reported to CNN that having never seen anything like this was a very great small town, and now it's gone, they say in a report. Coronel Knights told a Associated Press report that he and his wife and 3-year-old daughter were at a relative's house in Rolling Fork, and that it was really quiet just before the tornado had struck. In his report, he also added that the sky was dark, but they could see the direction from every transformer that blew. In another report, also, the tornado struck another relative's house where a wall collapsed and trapped several people inside. Dear viewers, that is all for now for your today's reports. Until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs, and do stay tuned for more of your news reports. But until then, this is a recap of your today's Heads Up. On your domestic, Eritrea participates at the International Conference of Water for Sustainable Development. Call for integrated effort to control prevalence of the tree locust. U.S.-Canada strikes deal on curbing illegal migration. Tornadoes kill 23 and brings devastations in the state of Mississippi. Thanks for watching once more, and have a nice one.